Hey folks, Arisilde here. We are back with the Kingsfield puppet once again. We have the movement done. We have the compass UI done. I'm going to be moving on to some interactions. I think what I'm going to do today is item selection and picking up items and whatnot. So this ought to be fun. So I figured what I would start with, I think I'm going to do a raycast from the face. And we're going to see, what I'd like to do is, or I guess just the general idea. I'm not sure if this is going to work. I want to do where the raycast shoots out, follows the head, has a certain distance that it can go. That way you can't just use, or you can't like interact with something 10 miles away. Which in this game it's going to be fairly tight corridors and whatnot, so that's probably not an issue to begin with, but I just want to make sure. So what I'm going to do is just pick an arbitrary length. It has to be something at least further than eye level to the ground. So I'm going to probably estimate it maybe from eye level to, like, say out here. And I'll just test it from there. I'll see what feels good. Oh, I'm like, why can't I click on this? It's because I have to make it visible. Ooh. Okay. So, apparently I need to put the layer scope actually on the head, or it will not follow the head properly. Alright. Trying that again. Well, looks like we're going to have to force this because it's being frustrating. Apparently I'm tired. I don't know. Not thinking straight. So 4 meters is really pretty far, it looks like. Let's see what 3 meters looks like. Oh yeah, that's not gonna work. 3.5 is almost to the ground. We'll stick with 4. All right, so 4 makes me happy. Now, the other thing we have to look at is creating a follower of some sort. I like to just make them red so I can see them in the world. Not for any particular reason. And it doesn't have to be really large or anything, because it's just going to be following a point in space. And the only thing it's going to have on it is a trigger zone. Let's call this, I guess, interact. Region? Area? Call it area. It needs to look for tags, and we'll put a tag for interactable on whatever object. Zone, nope. The zone needs to be pretty small because we don't want it interacting with a bunch of different things. So let's say half a meter. And we gotta remember to put this back so that it's centered. Good. The only other thing I'm gonna do with this before I close it is node it into here. Oh, we don't need the layer scope right now. Come back to that. And detected. Which we probably won't actually need this, but I'm going to do it anyway. That way I can close this and not have to look at it anymore. Because what I'm actually going to do, this zone, I probably should let that open. So this zone is going to follow the tip of this raycast unless the raycast is hitting an object. Then it's going to follow the hit position. So I'm going to have to build logic to decide between the two. And what's going to happen is anything that's interactable is going to have a tag that this zone will activate. And then that tag being activated on the object will enable interaction logic on the object itself. So this trigger zone doesn't actually have to do anything. So I don't really need this, but I'm going to go ahead and pull it out anyway, just in case I need it later. Wow, cannot detecting. All right. So we're going to have to do something first of all. This is going to need a follower. And follower. So we're going to start with just having it follow the laser scopes. Well, first of all, the laser scope needs to... I guess I don't have to change these. I'll leave these for now in case that there's any problems later. I'll change them. So I've got the output of the hit position. Alright, so scope hit position. I'll bring that in. You know what? Let me grab this too. Just in case. I don't think I'm going to need it. But this means I don't have to open this again for a while. Distance. I don't believe angle's going to matter, so we're not going to worry about angle. So we're going to keep these two out to unclutter the screen. We are going to first start just by testing this. So we're going to go directly to the location of that. So let's hit play. It's not doing the thing for some reason. Why is that? Just to get it to max out. Oh, because I'm goofy. Turn that off. You actually need to be on there. There's no pointer, so that's fine. I'll shrink you down so you don't look ridiculous. Oh, wait. Oh, wow. Okay. What just happened? I screwed up and had that inside the puppet, for starters. That's problematic. Secondly, this needs to be not collidable. Alright. What is it hitting? You're going to be tagged as friend. You are not going to hit friends. What are you hitting? So it's not hitting anything, it's just losing. Because it's too far. Okay, that's all it is. Yeah, alright. So it's just the incomplete logic. So if I look up too far, it starts getting a 0 signal. So the ball keeps going to 0, 0, 0. Alright, perfect. So, next step is to put in some logic so that whenever the hit position is false, it goes to the tip of well, I'll show you. Alright, so I want it to the tip of the scope here. So it'll just be hovering in space. Oh, it may not, you know what, it may not actually matter. Maybe what I'll do instead. Yeah, alright, so what I'm going to do instead. Why is this all the way over here? Doesn't actually matter where this is. I just like to be over here so I can actually interact with it easier. So, Scope hit position, scope hit distance. What we're missing is the scope hitting something, period. So let's... All right. That's good. That's good. That's good. Let's back out of there. Let's also make that an exit, just in case, because I don't know if I'm going to need anything on this chip, but I would like to have it on this chip. And that's just going to turn that off when it's not hitting, so that when it jumps to 0, 0, or when it's moving in between 0, 0 and whatever spot it last hit, it won't be detecting anything. So we won't get any false positives. That's what that's mostly for. And that really should actually be it. So now to test it, what we probably need to do is have some walls so that even though we have nothing to interact with currently, we can at least simulate it moving around in space and make sure everything looks right. I think what I'm going to do is actually put it out so it doesn't shadow everything, though. Alright, so if I'm within 4 meters, let me fix this because this is going to get on my nerves. So if I'm within 4 meters of the wall, which I might need to shorten that because that's pretty close. Maybe I'll make it 5. All right, so let's build something small. Just as a test. We'll pretend like this is a button. Nope. So in here, we will first need a tag. And we will name this tag interactable. And this is what I was talking about. Whenever the trigger zone hits this, you'll get an output from this here saying, yes, I'm in the trigger zone. So the other thing we need is to make sure that's good enough. The trigger zone will be big enough that it should be able to still hit that. All right, so we got that. What we need to do, real fast is edit this to look for the interactable tag. That's not right. I'm goofy. It's not the scope. The scope doesn't need to detect this. This does. And now you can see that when it gets close, so if this was a pickup, if this was a button or whatever, I would actually tie this into whatever logic allows you to then press the button and interact with it. It's really that simple. So let's get this guy back out of the way. And let's say, just for example, that this is just a display saying, hey, you can press X and if you press X, something happens. So forget this. Also put this here, so it's only powered if this is detected. And then this needs to be remote controlled. And we will go from X to forward. Okay. Let's pretend that this is, what should we make this do? Let's just make it glow. How about that? Boom! That is way too bright. Let's turn it back off. Alright. So that works. That's simple. Let's get rid of that. Doesn't matter. What am I doing? I always do this. It's just a test. We don't really need to worry about it being here. Let's turn this to 30. Turn that to 30. Let's hook this into here. But let's only power this on. That is still unbelievably bright. So let's not put this on 30. Let's try 10. Why is this happening? Oh, all right. This is happening because it's actually a percentage. Which is 0 to 1, not 0 to 100. So there we go. Now that's not obnoxious. All right. So the next step would be if, for example, we wanted to make something that you could pick up. Let's say we've got, oh, this grid's trying to kill me. Let's just make it green, just because we can. What in the world? Somehow I clicked into the sculpt. And that's not what I wanted. Let's copy one of these. So this will have the same thing. I don't have the rest of the code, so let's just pretend as if it's getting picked up. I want you box. So there, as if I picked it up. What I am noticing though is for larger items, this is going to be problematic because that range is not big enough. It doesn't penetrate all the way through an object. This doesn't feel right, so I'm definitely going to change this to 5. That's too much, though. That's definitely too much. So maybe 4.5. That still seems like too much. Maybe 4 really was it. I think I might actually need to make the zone bigger as well. Just to make it a little bit more forgiving. I'm pretty happy with that. Actually, we don't need that camera pointer anymore because I was just using that to build the camera in the first episode. All right, I would say that's pretty good. That's the very basics of the system. Potentially in future episodes, we will expand and create actual interactables. I just wanted to make the interaction system. So that'll do it for now, and I will catch you in the next video.